Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be going over all the players the Washington Commanders are meeting with their top 30 visits for the upcoming NFL draft. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, also hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. It really does help out the channel a ton. And shout out, we want Dallas for this list. Keep, just this visual for me so I can just list it out for you guys and you guys can see it. So we're going to go over all the top 30 visits they've scheduled and talk about some of the players, some of the common themes, and talk about some players that they aren't meeting with. So, top 30 visits is kind of self-explanatory. You get 30 guys that you get a visit with. It might not be your top 30 guys, but it's just 30 guys that you either want to learn more about, maybe learn about their medicals, them themselves, or just how they fit with the team. And that's why you do it. The Commanders did not meet with wide receiver Jahan Dotson last year, and a lot of players, that they've drafted don't meet with, but it's still important in terms of what they're interested in. And some players that they meet with, they might end up drafting anyways. I believe Brian Robinson, they brought him in for a meeting. So I'll list out the names and then we'll talk about them a little bit more. So Hendon Hooker, Chase Brown, Ronnie Brown, both running backs, 2 offensive tackles in DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State and Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. A few guards, Steve Avila out of TCU, Antonio Mafi out of UCLA, Osiris Torrance out of Florida, Alex Forsyth out of Oregon, Ricky Stromberg out of Arkansas, DeMarvion Overshown out of Texas, and then a couple more linebackers, and let's see, 4 corners, so that's a big, position there that they're looking at. Not too many of the top guys, but they are meeting with some of the guys that may have a little bit of questions in terms of how they fit here. Emmanuel Forbes, not really in terms of how he fits here, but just in general because he is a smaller guy, and they want to see, they really want to learn more about him. That's one guy. And then Joey Porter, not any size questions, but maybe a scheme fit question. And that's why they're bringing him in. And then Terrell Smith out of Minnesota and DJ Turner, who ran a 4.26 40-yard dash. They're bringing him in. Brian Branch, versatile DB out of Alabama, can play safety, can play inside corner, could play Buffalo nickel for the Commanders. Also, Jartavius Martin out of Illinois, safety, and then other meetings / workouts. Malik Cunningham, quarterback out of Louisville, Joel Honingford, tight end out of Michigan, Ventrell Miller, linebacker out of Florida, Keatrell Clark out of Louisville, and Carrington Valentine out of Kentucky. I know I probably butchered a bunch of those names. I'm sorry, but some common themes. I mean, they are definitely looking at positions of need. At the Combine, they met with so many offensive linemen, and that's still kind of a common theme here where we see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 offensive linemen that they have visited with, 2 tackles, 3 guards, and 2 centers. And another position need, linebacker, they met with 3 linebackers, 4 corners, and then 2 DBs that Brian Branch can't play safety, but if the Washington Commanders draft him, whether it be at 16 or a little bit later in the first round, if they trade back, I think it'll be for a slot corner or Buffalo nickel position. He's very versatile, and I think he would really fit well with the Commanders at slot cornerback or Buffalo nickel. So I am growing, he's really, really growing on me in terms of, me wanting him as one of our draft picks. Like, I originally didn't, think about him too much as a possibility, but now I think it would be one of my probably top 5 guys. I don't know about 16, because 16 might be a little bit too early for him, because I think if the Patriots don't take him right before us at 14 or 15, I don't know if another team will take him until the mid-20s. And if we could trade back and get him, plus get assets to fill some other needs, like let's say we get that, we trade back to 25, so we trade back 9 spots, and then we get either a late second or a third and a fourth, then we can use those extra picks to, maybe in the second round, we draft the corner / safety in the first. In the second round, maybe we can draft a guard / center or tackle, and then or a linebacker or a tight end, a combination of those positions. I think it would really, really help out the Commanders. So trading back this year is what I want to do, unless, let's say, Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon's there, or tackler Northwestern, Peter Skronowski. I always mispronounce that. I'm going to have to just practice that. But if he's there, I'm taking him, and you can play him at tackler. Guard Paris Johnson, I'd be very tempted to take him. And those are kind of the guys. If none of those guys are there, I'm probably trading back and getting Deonte Banks, Brian Branch, maybe one of the tackles in Broderick Jones or Darnell Wright. And yeah, there's some good possibilities there. And then Joey Porter, I'm fine with him at 16. Just, you got to make sure the scheme is not necessarily best suited for him, but it works. Because William Jackson III, it wasn't all the scheme, but the scheme is definitely the scheme definitely played a part into, you know, why it didn't fit maybe early on. But he also he did it to himself. He was awful. We don't need to get into William Jackson III because we know how bad he was for Washington. And it was, you know, it wasn't just in man, or it wasn't just in zone. When we played man, he was not good. So let's talk about some other guys that they met with and reasons why. Hendon Hooker, one of the top QBs that they possibly could get, because they're not getting Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and probably not Anthony Richardson. But who knows? Maybe Will Levis could fall. Hendon Hooker will definitely be there at 16. And Hendon Hooker has a knee injury. They want to learn more about him, the injury, see if that checks out. And maybe if he's somehow there in the third round, which he's not going to be, maybe in the second round, they'll take him. And that's why they're meeting with him. But I don't think they'll take him. Probably don't think they should unless they really, really like him. But that's one reason there. I'm trying to think about other guys. Emmanuel Forbes, probably they're interested in him, but maybe concerned about the weight and want to meet with him in person and, you know, see what he's about and, you know, if they really think it's an issue, and maybe just talk to him more. Same thing with Joey, and we talk about Joey Porter. I think it's going to be a scheme thing, talking to him about the scheme, what the Commanders run, and how comfortable he would be there. And then other guys that like interest me, intrigue me. I mean, Malik Cunningham's, you know, interesting right there. Quarterback out of Louisville would be late, would be like 6th, 7th round, where you draft him. And, also the Commanders are hosting a local pro day on April 11th, which I guess was yesterday. Joshua Pryor, an edge rusher out of Bowie State, and CIAA Defensive Player of the Year. He was there, and a few other guys were there as well. So, you know, they maybe one of those guys they'll draft in the 7th, 6th round for their local pro day. I mean, the top guys aren't going to go to the local pro day, but those are just, you know, some ways that the Commanders can get more looks at guys, and I think it's a good strategy to maybe get an edge on those late round picks. It's not going to help you early on because those guys aren't going to go, but 5th, 6th round, 7th round undrafted guys, it'll give them a little bit of an edge, a little bit more information than most teams have on them, and yeah, I think that's a good move by the Commanders there. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to give you guys the information on these on the top 30 visits that they have. Not gonna, again, didn't want to go into, you know, detail on each of those guys because that's a lot. That's a 2-hour video, but you know, some guys here that I'll end it with this. Some guys I would be interested in drafting at the right, you know, spot. Hendon Hooker, probably not. I like him, but just with what we have with Sam Howell and how Hooker's probably going to be out for the first year, I don't really know if it makes sense. Darnell Wright in a trade back scenario, would not mind at all. Probably like him over DeJuan Jones. The guards in the second to 3rd round would love it. Osiris Torrance probably going to be a late first rounder. Would probably rather not draft the guard in the first round unless it's the tackle/guard out of Northwestern. Centers in the 2nd to 3rd round, I'm good with it. And these linebackers, there's not really any great linebackers in this class, but would not mind drafting a linebacker in the I think the 3rd round is a sweet spot for it. Maybe 2nd round, but if you don't trade back and don't get other picks, I think 2nd round is probably too early for linebacker, and I'd rather just get, if you got tackle or guard in the 1st, then get corner. If you got corner in the 1st, and get tackle or guard in the 2nd. That's kind of how I see it. Unless a great player is available and you're like, no way, I'm not drafting this guy. And then cornerback, I like Emmanuel Forbes. If he's there in the 2nd, I would absolutely love that. Absolutely love it. If, you know, Emmanuel Forbes is there in the 2nd, I would absolutely take him. slot cornerback in the first, though a little bit too early. Also like DJ Turner. I'm intrigued with him and Brian Branch as well. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Not sure what else we'll be posting this week. If you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and put them down below. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.